live. Welcome to 8t-podcast. Wow, the first English episode. It's gonna be great. Amazing. This is not terrifying at all. I am stumbling upon my words. Great. Grape. Okay. This is going to be the first English episode of 8t-podcasts that I have decided. But I had to give it my own spin of it because the main goal of this podcast when I created it is to keep my mother tongue alive, which is Greenlandic. So I'm thinking if you want to only see Greenlandic, skip ahead. I will switch to Greenlandic as I'm around like a midpoint or something. So without further ado, I love Holland Williams. Yeah. So welcome to 8t-podcast. I will be speaking Greenlandic later on, but for now English. Don't make fun of my pronunciations and my thou shall not make a mockery of my spoken English and articulation of my spoken. I don't fucking know. Yeah, sorry about that. This is fucking terrifying. I'm so fucking scared. So basically, I'm from Greenland, and I would like to speak a little bit about Greenland. I guess because I don't have anything else to add to the world in English because all these things, everything already exists in Greenlandic. So I know English. Sorry, but the main reasoning is I live around English. I mean, not English speaking. I live in Denmark. That is Danes. So I would speak in Danish in everyday basis, and I have a lovely woman from Poland. God, and no, this is mostly for the people around me that I'm like meeting with daily basis, and they've been asking for English episode forever, and I have been terrified ever since. I've been promising them, so this is my. I will try this. I think around like maybe half an hour. I will switch to Greenland. Greenlandic, yeah. And yeah, I haven't said anything for now. Yeah. Okay, just bear with me. Okay. I'm from Greenland. I've been living in a small island called Umena that is in northwest. Northwest. Yeah, it sounds like I'm introducing myself as Kanye's what would it be? Granddaughter. Oh, I'm from Northwest. Funny. No, I'm from northwest of Greenland, called Umena, and I've been living there. I was living there until I was 15. There were like 1,000 people on that island. Yeah, the roughly now is like a little bit over because of those tsunamis. Yeah, fun fact. And yeah, basically I was living there until I went to Denmark for I don't know how it's called in English, but it's efterskole in Danish. And ever since I went back for a year and started as a welder, and then moved to Nuuk, and I haven't been living in my hometown, I would say, since 2018. Yeah. So I don't exactly know how to make. I don't know what to make out of it. Like I don't know. For me, it's just so normal to talk about these things. I'm like, oh, I'm from a mountain that is sticking out of a ocean that has is like mainly rock that has like a patch of dirt in it. Now then we build a church on it. The church is made of rocks, and we have like a 1 kilometer high, almost 1 kilometer, I think, mountain on that small island, which is like a crazy fact if you tell a normal city person like that's how I'm living right now. But yeah, uh, it is so it's yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm goddamn stressing out. Um, I guess I will. I don't have any like. I'm so because I'm like I'm pale as fuck, and I'm like basically Danish person at this point, and my dad is a half Danish, and allegedly there are Dutch DNA from my grandmother's side because of the whale hunters that go to Greenland and do whatever they want basically. And I've been meaning to get like DNA tests to see how much European I am and how much Northern American I am. Uh, but it has been like ever since I learned that there were like DNA leaks on the black market from I think one of those DNA tests like companies, and I've just been terrified ever since they started. I heard about it, but also basically you just like giving away. I mean, I guess the government already has my DNA, one form or the other, like through the I don't know, like yeah, anyway, it's taking crazy turns. Now, let me talk about my experience in Greenland. So yeah, basically, I was living in that island all my whole childhood until I was 15, as I said. Um, so it was fairly simple in terms of nowadays and standards of today, because I was just we were playing. I was playing games and playing outside, go to school. We have schools. We have elementary school, but we don't have like high school, and like we have to leave the island to go higher education. So we have elementary school till till 10th grade, but we don't have kindergarten. I don't know how you call it, like zero. So you start from one. For Danish people, is zero. So when we get to after school, they would take their 10th grade, and we would repeat 10th with them. Like we would going, I don't know. Anyway, and it was I I would like to say that is I had a normal Greenlandic childhood, which is a broken family, a broken home, alcoholism, workaholism, denial, and great jokes, amazing jokes. My family is just so amazing with they're funny people, they're fun people. It's always fun when everything is going to shit and somebody is doing crazy shit, there's always somebody in the other hand going like, yeah, that's how it is. That's just how it goes. So that's how basically I grew up with living with these like I don't know, like crazy people. I would say, sorry, family, but I mean, I guess like um, we were a product of a generational shift. We were like always behind, where the bigger cities or like Danish people who would have this technology, and maybe around like, I mean, I'm from 1999, and I remember having VHS and Nintendo 64, yeah, 64, and then I remember destroying that Nintendo 64. I was eating yogurt one time next to the console, and then I don't know what happened. I just boom boom, there was yogurt all over, and the game was dead. And our dad he's a type of like the guy that is like, you had your fun, like you had everything in your hands, and you messed up, and what you get is nothing after that. So we just basically lost our Nintendo 64 because I was eating yogurt next to it. Fun. I remember we were playing what was it? I think I remember Donkey Kong. We were playing a lot of Donkey Kong, but I have these memories of like brief that are like there and not there at the same time. Like, I don't know how much of it is a Mandela effect. Like, I feel like there was one time we were like, there was this monkey that has like a it's not ponytail, like a rabbit hair, like a hair that's going there. And for some reason it glitched, and then it just like blanked out, like it was gone. The player was just gone. Like, I don't know how I don't know how it works with like programming of those type of games, like cartridges, cartridge. I don't know. Yeah, it was just one day. We clicked something, and then one thing led to another. I guess it just boom gone. So yeah. Anyway, and I ate yogurt, and that was the end of that. And later on, I got PS2. Like, I feel like I never was part of that. I was never a gamer, but I was always gaming until I guess I was 15. I guess that's where I lost something that turned me off from that turned me off from video games and into you know what. And I remember I was playing a lot of GTA San Andreas. That was the shit. That was the real, like, that's where it's all started, with like the my fascination of English language, which was not ideal for the first. It was just asshole. It was fun. CJ. It was good. And my boy William. Yeah, we were just in school, just cussing out everybody, and we would get in trouble all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but it was fun. It was. Uh, I guess in school no, like, in school we were, I don't know, like, we were feeling this shift of generations because we're 99 people, like 1999. We were like hybrid of like being outside and doing all these fun, cool things, and like we would play this. We would be downtown, in an industrial area, and then we would play this game. We call it Police. So how it happens is we would say like, "Oh, go to this factory door. The last one to touch the factory door will, the last two will be the police. So the slowest ones or the unfortunate ones will become the police, and then we would run around. And it's basic. I don't know how it's called in somewhere, but it's kind of like a Call of Duty game mode of infected, where there you start with two infected people, police. That is infection, in my opinion. That is a sickness in the head. So they would try to touch people, pause, and people they touch, they would become pigs. I mean, police, and it would just like more and more until there's like last one that is like they're usually on top of something, just hiding, or somewhere they're like athletic enough to get to that point of like on top of a container or something. They would just be like the last one, and basically just exactly like the game mode of infected, where they're like on the wing of the plane, or where is, because it when you're playing the Call of Duty infected, you go to the wing of the plane in terminal. I'm speaking Modern Warfare 3 here. That's the last game I was playing. They would go to the wing, or I feel like there is something else you can get to like by like jumping on stupid places and then get to where nobody can get to, or I don't know, I don't remember. But yeah, basically there is always one guy. But after our generation, like after the 1999, there weren't any like zero like 21st century like kids that were like playing the games we were playing, because around that time when they became like when they become sentient enough, I guess they when they become like people, they were like phones and games. There are like catching up, and they were just playing all the time, and we just like it kind of disconnected, because we were always like everybody from 1998 1997, we were playing outside, playing this police game, or like basically just destroying shit, like just like the fun things you do when you're a kid. And when they came around in 20 these zero people, and they just like, I mean, they were around for some time, but they just like it just vanished, this playing outside life, which was strange. But when I got to Europe, it was much more like, oh shit, there nobody's actually playing outside. I mean, either even like the, being like allowed outside, to be honest. So yeah, and then around that time I was um uh, yeah, it's tough. Um it's- somebody left these at my place, and I have these now, these things. These are not booger sugar, but close. Um Anyway, so what did I also what did I also do when I was a kid? I mean, there was a lot of like the basically living in Greenland. There's a lot of darkness. Like there is darkness aspect to it, and the reason why I kind of was motivated to leave Greenland as a whole is there is a lot of alcohol and misuse of a lot of. I mean, our drug is hashish. People would say is the brown thing. I think they call it like soap bar or something. But it was a lot of that, and it was expensive there. I've heard. So like, if you like, maybe how much it is. Like, if you have a pinch of uh, the drug, quote unquote drug, this marijuana extraction, or the concentrated marijuana, you would pay 200 Danish kroners of like a pinch of it. And here it would be like, I don't know how much it costs in Denmark. I would assume at least like 2 grams or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's so expensive up there, because all the way you have to take it from Denmark. You swallow the I would call them like capsules. I've heard they're like, a birdie told me, that they would pack it inside a like those latex gloves. They would like pack them in, and they would like take them with yogurt. Hey, yogurt, callback. They would swallow these capsules of hash with yogurt, and they would like just poop it out. I've heard somebody was farting in the airplane, and then the dog smelled his seat, and then yeah, I'm not gonna name any names, but it's crazy how much of it there is. And like, there always, like, every year there is a new ways of trying to stop the transportation of that stuff, and they're not stopping it. There's no way in hell that's gonna happen. It's always there. But there's a lot of that. I have a lot of close people that are using it, and now I don't know how many they are. I've used it. I'll admit it. I've tried like maybe 3 times in Greenland, but I was always scared of that, because I never know what you never know what's in it. It's like you they make it bigger to make more profit, because that is black market. That's just how black market works, I guess. And oh shit, this is and I mean, there was a lot of that growing up, and not my not in my position, but around me, around people that are like, uh, I remember I had like classmates that are using it. We were in like 7th grade or something. It's crazy like that. And alcohol, a lot of alcohol, a lot. There are so many like there's so many alcohol users, because there's nothing to do. There's nothing. We're literally isolated in a small speck of land. Like, we cannot go anywhere when the seas are rough, and when the temperature drops, and you cannot go anywhere. The ice is too thin to walk on and too thick to sail on. You just basically stuck. And what do? You just drink and have a lot of sex, basically. Um, so that I don't know, that's like that. Oh, that type of living always leads to this big old mess, I would say. And it was a lot of it was messy. And growing up, it did a lot of like, I can see that it was like doing a lot of damage to a lot of people, a lot of families. I was part of that. I will admit that. And at the same time, it created this like novelty of like, I guess we usually have this when you have your confirmation in the church, we're pro Protestant. What is the word? Like, we're not Catholic. We are Protestants. And when you're in grade 7, you go to this confirmation of your all these things. And then at the end of the year, the kids who have been confirmated, I guess that's how you would say, would have this party, which is like nuenat, which means like joy. We would call these kids that has been confirmed as nuenakatun, which means like the having fun for the first time. That's basically what it means. So what we do is we just basically drink, and it was super messy. And grade 7, like, how old am I think it's like 14 or like 13 around. And so that's where we started, like, that's where we usually start drinking. That's fun. That's fun activities. And it would turn into this crazy experimentation of alcohol, I would say. And they usually start smoking before that. I remember one time there were girls from our class. They were smoking, and they got confronted by the teacher. And then the one of the girls were saying like, "Oh no, I mean, if they're gonna bully us if we're smoking." And the teacher would say like, "Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? You're smoking. That's not good." And but eventually everybody kind of started smoking by the end of the school term, which is fun. Yeah, I think the first time we were out like smoking, we were stealing my friend's my my best friend's grandparents had always had their cigarettes in their refrigerator. I think they were like Luke's. They were like long. Uh, I think they like menthol cigarettes. We were just stealing them and then smoking them on the balcony. It was messy. I remember one guy was we gave him the cigarette, and then instead of like we would just mouth, like we were not inhaling it, of course, like that's just crazy. And then what he did was he swallowed the smoke, and then he's like he took a puff, and then like and then we tried to like blow it out, and then nothing was coming out, and we were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And like, "I swallowed it." And we're like, "No, you just like blow it out, like you don't swallow it." Yeah, and then we were like, what age? What was it? Was like we were like 8 or 9. Yeah, that is so crazy. And yeah, because we were just around this like crazy way of living of just, I don't know, alcohol and uh yeah, like these. I mean, there were drugs around. So I guess I'm almost around there. Like now is how far along am I? Okay, so yeah, that's basically. I don't know how it is now and how it is for the like larger cities. I guess there are you can always find these types of behaviors from kids, basically fun. And yeah, how was it as a I I think there are like um as my understanding is there always are two ways of living as a kid in Greenland. um when you're in school, either I guess three, like you can be like, one is like non-existing, like you're like kind of like nobody, you're just like silent on the side, and then they usually kind of fall out from the society at some point. There are a lot of those. I mean, a lot by like one or two kids. There are just like attending not so much, and they basically just like get ruled out. uh and two, you would get bullied. That's like almost guarantee. or you bully. That's the third one. You become a bully. So I was kind of two of those. I got bullied as I was a kid because I was always the fattest kid. I was super chubby when I was a kid. I think when I was like 10, I was like 12 kilos overweight, and I was just like I was humongous. And it would always come with some sort of like a, not mockery, just like we were just like busting balls like since then, because we're basically how hierarchies are set upon children is like we're playing a lot of football, like soccer, as Americans would say. And by that, how good you are uh, in football, that would set you in hierarchy. If you're like one of the slow ones and there that is not so good, you just become like a target. Like, oh, come on, fatty, which kind of like help me in a way of like, okay, this is not good, this is not healthy, and I have to lose weight. And then I lost weight like later on, but it was always there. And but you have to like, if you're getting bullied, you have to like bear it through. Like you cannot fight back in a way of like, oh, come here, shut up, don't bully me. Because if you do that, you will become a target like instantly. That's way of saying like, okay, please bully me. If you say stop bullying me, in for Greenlandic people, they hear, yeah, please bully me. And so you just kind of like, you have to kind of like ignore the noise of like bullies, because they're just out there, they're just trying to get reaction out of you. And if you go around that the bullies, you either you become this, the first type that is like a non-existing kid that is like on the side, there is like nobody even like either talks to, or like they don't get a rap. They either you if you the way you beat the bullies, you this sounds horrible, is you become the bully, you become a bully with them, and you start making fun of other children. But there's like a survival mechanism, like either you, it's dog eat dog. Basically it's just either you get killed or you kill. Not literally, not like in America, but in a sense of like a character. But I'm not saying it in a way of that is like a good thing, but that's just the reality of it, as I remember it. Now is now I guess they're just playing video games and being now I'm just bullying them. Yeah, no, but how it turns out after like primary school is also like choices of like being like this quiet. Maybe you just start working, or you start, I don't know, just making a living somehow somewhere. Or either you do that, or second, you deny your behavior as a child, and then you just like kind of like forget that you were a bully. You don't admit it, you just start living your like this, I don't know, it's like a like ignorant life of just like being like, okay, I have to blah blah blah. I have to make a living, and then I'm a good person. If either that, or you like yeah, either you do that, or some people they just decide to exit. There's a lot of that. They just decide to, okay, hell with this, off, and they basically boom boom, they delete themselves. I think I've seen we're like the highest uh I don't want to say is it a country? I guess like highest societies that are highest in bullying and very high in the suicide rates. Which is messed up for sure. And it's like the also the reality of it. It's like there's a lot of chaos, and I mean I couldn't bear it. Like I couldn't handle it. That's why I left it. I didn't know how to like. I didn't know if I should like try to fix it, or I just decided to just like, okay, I'm just gonna live my life and create it where I can start from the beginning, I guess. Yeah, which I decided to leave. And that was a sour note. Yeah, now it has been. I think I should end it with like a little bit a better note. Okay, let's talk about how you meet Greenlandic people and how you can tame your own Eskimo. And as I see it, the Greenlandic people are very quiet, like to themselves. People like they don't go around and they don't talk a lot. We. I mean, I don't want to speak upon Greenlandic people, but as a Greenlandic people, as a person that was living until I was living in Greenland until I was 21. So I basically I'm a expert in it, I would say. And as your only Greenlandic source, I would say that they're not they're not talkative in the sense of this BS European where they like talk about anything, and like they like especially Danish people, they just can they just can speak about everything. Talk about from the color of the sauce to I don't like to from the weather to politics in a span of like 5 minutes. They just go and go and go, and then they would end up like talking for an hour without stopping, and then everybody's speaking. Like you have to jump into like everybody's talking over each other, or they're just like when you speak to the Greenlandic person, they're listening. They're not saying much. Either they're trying to say something and then somebody's speaking, so therefore they're not saying anything, and they'll just be waiting for the silence, but it never comes. Like if you're in Europe or in at least in Denmark, like you have to jump in like if you want to say something, you have to jump in the like in the middle of the conversation. In Greenland we basically have like a ball that we like throw around. Like if you have the ball, you are the speaker. Everybody else shuts up and listens, and they just wait until you finish your story or your statement or your thoughts, and they will start their own. They will comment on you, or they will just speak what they're thinking, I guess. So if you meet a Greenlandic person and they're quiet, you just don't say they're weird. Like, oh, you're weird. Though you're not saying anything. You're awfully quiet. Like, no, they're listening. Like, they're waiting to be like wait. They're waiting for you to be finished, but you never do. You never finish your like the conversation just goes on, and Greenlandic people are not so good at jumping in and then giving their thoughts and such. But don't assume they're quiet and like they're I don't know like maybe stupid or like they're less intelligent, artificial intelligent, intelligent. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like don't assume they're stupid in a way, because they're not. Like of course not. They're like they live mostly in a physical world. Their language is mostly like a body language, and reason why you can notice them like they're mostly saying yes with their eyes. Like they go like their eyebrows would rise up, and then they would be, that means yes. and when they like grin, like not grin, like squint their eyes, if they're not already squinch, that means no. Like mm. So that's yes and no. But if you you cannot make fun of them because they will strike. That this is like they're quiet, but they're like normal people. They're just like if they decide okay enough is enough, they will strike. And oh my laptop is dying. Ah, this is stupid. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. This is a one man production, I must say. So if you ever disrespect a fellow Eskimo, I think I would say watch out for your marbles because they will put a boundary, and it will most likely be physical because yeah, they're not from the like spoken this politics of like a hierarchy of like people saying things and like being agreeing to like, oh yes, I will do this, and then you're like, stop it. But yeah, I mean they're mostly respectful, I must say. Like it's very unlikely it will happen like randomly, but if they were given, if they're given shit, they will give shit. Yeah. Yeah, basically. So just be nice to them. They're the nicest people around always. And yeah, I think that's a, a better note. Okay. Namka kaya na music. Thank you for listening to my first ever English episode. Ksiä misikut kaya na san nice tydyt okarynia saisua. No riippuu tämmöisiä niippelytyynä. Missik Käräsiltyyn sinne eqqattissanerluun naluusappaa. Tylyt eqqassarnikuunum. Nipäämiilaa. Qoyan isiinnaissi. Ullumikkuut maan episode muun eqqattarusuppaa missaksum inissisimana imaat ilumartum tulut oqalunnik tulut oqalungaam eqqaartungissak nalalorpakkalaallis massakku ilumartum maannaammaqa aija pausilaassinnarlu qina. We're back. Tikilluaritsi massakkut kalaallisulli isiginnaarluari tornaarluarisilu massakkut September qassingaanep ippas aleqinguanalliup pilluarit massak Denmarkimi ilumaartun naluasun fuck. Tulut oqalunniarlun ama suuqa. That uteqqippungut tikilluaritsi aati 8t-podcast simon 8t-podcast qatturaasuppa puulaannim nuunniarnera qanu ingerlanerso suullu puulaan tunniussissarineraa missakkunun vilersaarutigalugut ingerlaarusaarta puulaannim nuunniarsarina taagan inooqatingorullugu kammangua asingua arnaatingua ippassaanikkunni imaat video ikkukkumaap qanittukkuni maaniuni ikkuterersmissua imaat video ikkuterersmissua uuma ikkunnerani taat takusimangikkussiu isinginnaariartulaarniarsigut torrariuissa suleqatitaaralu imaani videon suliaqartortaaralu peru imaat suliaariorparpu taaqanu ingerlissanerp ateqap aatipuulinimiu umminnarmiu puulinimut nuunniku imaat savaalikonnaa kingul imaatto ilumortama qaluppiarsinnaangana kalaalsu toqqatsistingaa taanna qangarsuar kalaalsu oqaluppun kiis puuyorsimagu oqaluartalerama ataan imaat sungisalaarsinnarlugu inuaqatina taasinaamillu kuunigun attaan atta ikkuppoq puulinimukaam arnaatimma ima aperissunnikuungami imaat seffiorfi sulif issakkaasumaattarniak seffiorfi ineqarfissatsinno qanitto taa аггеққуаанга таат танмаккимингаанни пуунимука паллаппуга мисилитсиккиарторлуга таа уллутаан таккум мисилитсиффиссаа имақалунни аторфин интерфиортиннисса таккуккама имаат арнаатим ананаат каммаат пилиукками таа атраасимукаатииннарамин таа амаунни пууннимиунгам тулут оқалуссиннаанан апууккамиа анингама ингерлаа таа апуффигисара илло сорнутартернеқарт таа илуан килуанукарлуга тунуани lærerigt isikkuли imaat bygninga sanaartorfi imaat attaasersuliarineqarta nutarterneqarluni taa taqqaman kiluani svaiserutit ilumortum naam oqalussinnaanguna ilumam oqalussinnaanguna qallu kalaallis илимангисанни аёрнаарнерунгаа тааматтулут оқалуссиннарлуни таакалааллисиноориатаарлуни эққарсаатик тамаас аторникууллу қанутулут оқалуссанерлусина эққартиссанерлуни таакалааллисиноориатаарама тааннерта эққарсаатигникуунгиннак таава илумааттум наам аторсиннаанги аютооруйссуарпу калаалс иммиуссиниссан имма туллиани имма питтаанеруссо эпизод атаас тулуттуиннар таатуллиа калааллисуинна массак una ikuallakkalit numulerpukis immaam qasunarnum utoqqatsissarsiaqaruttuinnap ilumortum naam kalaalsu imaattussa inissaqartingila kalaalsu episoodiornissa eqqarsaaluam ernangittuaqaissa iungil tuluttu eqqartungassik eqqartulaanginnarsinnarlugin takalaalsunukuma kalaaliungama ernangittuaqaissa eqqartungassik eqqartuinnissuak qaaqaitten pulisiulli eqqartuinnissuak siaqaitten pulasormussuk qaasaa ingerlangi eqqartussangikkaan ullutsin pisun ammunnim ullutsin pisu taangaarami politikkim pisu kisis malinnaaffi malinna tusartakkak politikkum tungaannagaarmat uangalu inissisimaffa sort imat inis oqaasissaqarfingerpiarna nalu imatu paasisimasakka tusakkakkalu assingiingaarmata eqqaaseqarfingisinnaaangala kalaallinunaani susoqarners nalullu imma pittaanerisaaluarpu arla pulaartorisinnaagu eqqartuoqatingisinnaasaa sapaikunnaat tulliauna aallartilerta pulaartoqartussaagunga muhaamatsima atili kammaga aartarta taan qallunaa taama qoluttussaa sunatamaam paatsiueqangigaarma ilumortum naam suna eqqartissunerlun nalulluinnaqqissaarpa kingu atua William kammara ayungalasin William una episode William tusangassiaavo William apoqqutaamalillu qangama kommentaarim allassima book review eqqullu atuak atuarnikuusakka amulniimmassignissanginnak kingull atuangara Dopamine Nation pingittuisinnaayunnaarnam uerinermullu tungasimma pingittuisinnaayunnaarnam tungavallaagisa uerinerm tungaso atuanga atuarpaa tassana eqqartorpa qaattatsin taanna kimikaalia pilersineqartarta dopaminim atili taan dopaminim atili imaat paisimasak malillungut neural modulators taaman taasarpaan iman isumaqarpu kimikaaliaavo akuutissaavo ila qaattatsinni liiningiarpissuin sumu ingerlissanersut aqutsiso so siullerm ilimangineqartarnikuam neural transmitter so liiningimut tunniussuiso taakisianni tusakkakingulliima lillungu liiningerpis eqqarsaatiingaanni so liiningimut neural transmitter unaavo huwa inummiik inoqatinnut oqarlunga ikungalaarin taa neural modulators isumaqarpasort asuliminga aqutsiso sort mikrofonilerluni siinimingaanni inui oqalukka avungaitsi tamassi taa dopamine taamat sulisuu qaasitsin imaat liiningerpassui aquppa avunga sort uningitsi aallaitsi sort taamat taassum atuakka erseqqissarpa pingittuisinnaayunna immaqalunni ueriner atoqatingiinnerm tungasoruussuu so ааllaqqaasiutigiusallugu eqqartorpa utoqqasaa taan atuakkam аллат эққаамангилаақана теқарнерс тоққатсиссигаа кса арнаава сукулууа тарни писсусаан илисимасалик таассама суллитариваа инуи уериникут унитсиккусуккаа таанна периусертик имаанни пингитторсиннаангисартик таа эққаттунгаа атааса angut taamat atoqatingiinnermuungut kisia soor qannu soor tissarsannermu imaani soor taamat tissarsannermu ueriniko imminu ila imminu inertinniarluni immaqaani imminu iluarusutsinniarluni ueriniko taava taassuma ingeniøriusimangami taa alla imaattuli maskiinaliorluni oqaluttuarisa imat quyananngikkalor taakisitaan sormisilittaaringaarami imminu iluarusutsinniarluni alla oqaluttartor nuuter taakku kaavinnerani maskiinaliorluni kaavinnerata taan maskiina taa maskiinami immin tissarsarujoortarluni imaat alla ilinniangaami sikaritsim pujortarluni ilikkarsimaami pujortaraangami taan inernissa qanillisinnaallugu kisianni qaangernagu inernani kisian iningayaaveqqalluni tassani punktimiilluni tuluttaasapa etching kantian tassanerujoorlun tiimorpassuut taan sukkassusaa maskiina malillugu taa soor unitsinniarseringaluarlugu taamat iliuserisartakkani alla taan maskiinaliani imaat atortui piiarlugi ingittarlugi taa ullu ingerlaneran eqqarsaatigalutinnerlugu tingunguningin taam sanaqqilluni taam tisan innarluni immi maskiinamingaani tissaarsarterujoorluni taa attaa utoqqalilluni imaat ikiortissamin tassua sukuluuimu ikiorqusimas taa eqqartungaat ilaan imaataan sumiu liitaunermiuungunarpu angun taa Amerikkam suliartorluni 4 sekkunniungunarpu taamat iliuseqarsimavor taakku pingaluttuinnarpai taa 2000 ingerlanerani Tysklannimu oqalungiariartorsimagami taa hotelimiilluni imaat baaseriataars qanno imaat fjernsyn isinginnaarlugu pornut imaattort ааллакаатиннеқат нанериатаарсимаами таа уннуу синиnnani порнориорлун тиссарсариорлун таамат аали унитсинниарсарани кууллугу таамат интернет иммақани порно видеонгорнери имат тингуссаасунгорнери писууллути таа атта илуам иммин ақуссиннааюннаарлани таа эққарсаатигалу илат уллутсинни интернет таам тингуссаатингисо qanorillikkaan porn ungaan porn imaattoraani Instagram mikkaanni arna sort taamat ila eqqarsaatingilaarsiuq eqqarsaatingalu qangali ila taamat tingussaasoqangila arnani atisaqangittuni imaattorniingikkuni sort assilissani isinginnaarniangikkunik immaqaluunni video kasit atungassat immaan pisiaaqqaarluma aattaa taamassak ullutsin taam tingussaatingis qannu peqqinnanngitsingineri aammalungilerluga ila uaam nassuutingissua uaam ila imaat nalinginna oqaatingorusanni annertuneru qannu akuligitsinginers Instagram mingaanni pornhubbimu toqqaan nuullun taawat uteqqillun taa uteqqikkaan immin eqqarsaatingorullun suinnartungaa soorun taamat soorun immin aqussinnaangittumi taa kisatan atuanga atuarlugu paasinarnerulup sol qarattap suleriusia taanna perusutaqarneq siunertaqarneq anguniangaqarneq eqqortikkuminartoriusartamakkuning sol imaat isinginnaaruma nuttukkukku angusaqassuu taavalu akissarsillugu tassuun dopamiinim annertuumi taakisia dopamiinim annertuum pisimangaanni taa balanceerettariaqaramiu ata ammuqarluni nalinginnaasu ataallungi nalinginnaasu uaniippo qeqqani taa atoqatingiinneq immaqalunni bornun isinginnaarni immaqalunni ikiarornartuni taamatu kokainini piner qaffatseruyussuartarpa taan dopamiin inissisimana taa qaffaruyussuerangami ammuqaruyussuartarpa taa depressionit misinnarluni takananiallun taa qummuqartaaruyus taa ataatungaan pingaanni taa soor sunatamam naalliunnert sunatamam peqqissiminert sunatamam youth taa takanangaanni qummuqaqqikkusulluni suli soor suli ikiarornartum suli annertunam suli porn ikanner suli silivisernerm suli tissarsaannaavillun suli tappumu peqqinniarsaralun immaqalunni ajornerpaam qeqqanu peqqinniarsaralun balanceererniarsaralun taamat pina pingittoorsinnaajunnaarlumi taamat unangikkuma unatingungikkukku unapingikkukku immaqalunni imat iliuseqangikkuma imatu iluarusun angusinnaangila taassuma atuakka erseqqissaatinga taanna perusutaqarneq imminiilaattariaqarpo sivikinnerpaam qaammat taakku perusuta pingiivillungin soor qeqqanu peqqinniaraanni naalliоqqaartariaqarpo taa naalliungikkaanni balanceerersinnaangi asu qanorpi eqqartisinerlu naluaso taa atuakkaam taassum erseqqissaatinga erseqqissarpaa iliuserisa killormua taanna iliuserisa iluarusunnartu pivallaarnagu iliuserisa naalliunnarto taan anguniarsinnaangaanni taanna iliuserisaarsinnaangaanni taa killormuani iluarusunnermik kinguneqarsinnaas taamatu naalliulaarsinnaangaanni taa akissarsiarissua qummuqarlun taan muusatsia imaat killormuani pisoqassasa taa aam kisiannerpassu aam kisiataan aam naalliunner imminermini uerittaffigineqarsinnaa ataas eqqartarpa kokainikuyunni pingittuusinnaa uerittaannikor taamatu sulisarto suliinnaavilluni qasuleraangami kaffit linea kokaini amfitamiini tamakku tamaas atorlungi sulerusaanginnaavillun taa anguniakkan anguniarusaarlugu taa unitsiffisanngorman unitsikkamiung taa soorunami sunatamam ila naalliunnarsugu imaat qanu kalaalsutaasernerpaksi abstinenserluni naalliulluni sunatamam muusatsia iluarusuffeqarnani naallioriorluni taakisia ullaakku nillertam uffarsimagami taa wow taan misingeriataarlugu naalliulaarami nillertam uffarluni taan dopamiinim tunineqarnini iluarusuutingilugu nillertam uffartaqattaanginnaavilluni ullaa tamaas nillertikkaluttuinnarluma taa allaa qerititsuim pisilluni nillertuinnaam taamatsunut nillertam kinittarluni ullaa tamaas taa paasingamiu imaakkam nillertum imom ikingaanni timitta imeq kissattaqamiu soor timitsinnu imeq attuumasor kissattaqami taa nillerpallaarunnаарluni imermiin taa kisia imeq kaaviyaarpan maat timimu attuumasu imeq paarlukajaatinnaavilluni taa taamaallun nilliinnaavillun kissannani taa allaa mutorilerlugu uffarfitaan nillertataan ullaakku ikisarfini motorilerlugu kaaviaartunngortilluni illernerussam ta imminermini taan aaqqinniaasaarlugu uerittaffini aaqqissutini uerittaffingalu ta taannarta sissuingassaas kisen nalua qanorpia tingusiffingissnerlugu taana atuanga kise taamat soqutiginartoriussuu taan dopamine qano immaattortiginera ulluinnannu ulluin eqqoiarsinnaava inuppassu ulluinnaana qano sunniuteqartigisinnaarners ta kisanni aamma kisianni eqqarsaati kisin aama eqqaaqqissua dopamine unaannaangila isumaqangila dopamine ajorta dopamine pingaaruteqarnerpaayu anguniangaqarnermut aam ulluinnarni aalanermu timi aalanerana taan paasinikuwa imaat mobiilerujorlungaas sorunam ila ta video tamakkua oqaluttuartatta uni videomi imat pisoqarpo ukua nukappiaqqamarluk taakkua imatu taakku taamat oqaluttuartartu ila takutallallu taan video eqqartunga nukappiaqmarlu pakistanermiu Solar Boys taamatu taayuutilli seqerni nukingata nukappiaqa taamataanaqarsanna naattumi eqqaallu ukua nukappiaqmarl pakistanermiun seqin tarrikkaangan ta pitsiangitto tima isukalluni pisussinnaayunnaart innaannarluti imaat pisussinnaayunnaarta ta tassani so noqaqqasutu qerisutu illuti imaat innangaannalertartu ta paasiniarsaringaa suna pisuulluni taamatu pisoqarnersilu taamattakuneqarnikuunginnam inui so taamatu pisussinnaayunnaarsinnaarners seqintarrikkaa ta paasiniaramik sunaaf paasiniarlu India-mukaappaan eqqamangana India-miiners immaqalunni Pakistan-miiners kse taakkunanni regionim tassani ta paasileriallaamik sunaaf qarasaani muteererni kun qarasa innarluutilik immaanni innarluusinu taanaqarsinna imaat imaasimangami seqernu qinguaata qalipaatai isitta takungaamikkin ta isitta aaliangertap isitta qarasatsinnu nalunaarutingisarpa seqina nuivo massak dopamine aallartissoo taakkua sananeqartarpu seqerni nueqqaaraangami qalipaat tungujortut sakkortunerpaaffigisaramik taanna ta qarasatta isitta qalipaat tungujort takungaangamiu qarasap-oqarfigisarpaa massakkut dopamine aallartippo ullu aallartippo dopamine pisaaqartipparput pom ta seqin tarrileraangan imaat sunatamam aappillertarpu sunatamammi kajortilluni imaani orangiangorluni taa isitta taakkua aappaluttut qalipaat aappaluttut orangsit pinkillu takungaangamik qarasa oqarfigisarpaa okay massak dopamine unippo melatonin unaavu kimikaalia qasuersaartitsisartu sinitsitsisarta taakkua nukappiaqqa imat qarasa innarluutigismaami taamat piffissangoraanga qaattam taakku dopamine melatoninningortinnissa aallartinani sunatamam uniivillun fabrik matusartor imaat taakkua qalipaat aappalutakungaangami taamaallutsima dopamine nungukkiartuarluni taa dopamine nungukkaangat tas tima sukalluni imaat pisussinnaajunnaarluti alla nunam uppiinnarluti so noqartut qerilluti imaattortaa taa angajoqqaavisa tingullungi kissumiarlugi innartittariaqarlugi taa ullaak seqinnuippat pum sortusoqarsimangita pinguaqqilissammeeraaqqilerti taa paasileriataamik taamaattoqartor unnukku taamaaleqqinginnaani iisartakkami L-dopa taamat atilim tuningamikkin L-dopa taan iisartangau asu dopamin ren dopamin ta unnukku taamat sukannat unnuk imaat angalaaruyorlus imaat pisor illoqarfimmeruyor аттаасиуллерпаами инуунерми таам dopamin писаақартингаа dopamin qanngippan timorpulluunni aalisinnaangila taam pingaarutеқартингаа таакисиан таан эққаарлума таакку қалипаат уллаакку тунгуйортун таа уннук ааппалуттун таакку эққаасагаанни массак уллутсинни qulli LED-in taavalu mobiilitta skærmi taakkuning tungujortun ulikkaap imaat LED qulli qaqortuussanguning imaat qalipaat spektrumimit tamaas pingisaajaqaramik tungujort akuusaajaqarpor aappalut taavalu imaat taakku okay ja taakku pingasut så immaamisiinnikuissuars qanillisa skærmim ilillunga ta mallata kunaqarsinnaas tungujortun kajort qossorpaluttun taavalu aappalut imaat skærmi taamaattuarappissuan pixileqarp taakku imaattornerin sakkortusisaarlugu immaqaluunni sorli taakkunan aappaluttor qossorpalut immaat tungujort taakku tamam 100% simikkuning isitta registrerissua taanna qalipaat qaqortutut imat qaqortuinnaangikkaluarpukisianni isittakusinnaasa taan qortu taava pingaarnerpaa tissani eqqaasanni tungujortor taan tungujortor ilaanguni isitta takunguniung taava registrerissua qaasap oqarfingissua okay ullaangorpo qossorput tungujortor qalipaa takuara ullaangorpo timi aalasussanngorpo dopamin tunior dopamin sanasaajaqarpop taa fabrik dopamin liorluni aallartissua taakisian taamaat ullaak ulluk unnukkul taamat qalipaa tungujort isingiinnaavikkuni isitta taa dopaminimi sanaannaavilluni taa pingittoruni fabrik overbilassortussaavila så sanaqqissin dopaminilioqqissinnaangina taamaallun sinippu akornerseruyussuartarpaa mobiilerneq immaqalunni LED-ni unnukku ikumatitsiner taamaalluni sinippu akornerseruyussuarlugu dopaminimillu imaat sanaartorn akornerseruyussuarlugu taamaallun taan pisoqataaruyussuarsinnaa pingittuvisinnaajunnаарnerm tassu dopaminima immaqalunni pisartakkat dopaminiliortartun immaat pisartakkat dopaminiliortitsisartunut pingittuvisinnaajunnаарner uverinerlu taan peqqutaaruyussuarsinnaa qulli atorpallaaraan qaamatippallaagaan mobiilerpallaaraan sort uwa taakku paasingakkil unnukkun mobiilera filterilertarpaa aappaluttumi skærme aappaluttumi filtereqartarpu taan eqqarsaatigalu sinimma toin rytmera akornerserusunnagu sinilluartarusullu qasuerserluarlu taavalu ulluinnerni inuusinnaarnera pittaanerussamma dopaminilu atorluarnerullu pingaartunu atorsinnaanerussaakku tasoonam aamila inuinnaagama soonam aporfippissuaqap aam taannartaa ja just taan atua tessungaanерус tungavo ja videomi apoqquta akivara takkumus haltim angoqqilаарpa ilumortum naam aneriuppuat soqutinginalaart eqqartukka missakkunun podcast-siliortarnissa aallunnerulaarusukkigu missuk atortukuju makkukuju imaat pisiariortornikugak utoqqitsisisan nunguutsingaluttuinnaram taamassak tis ааллуннерулерусуллу иккуссиллаттаанерулерусуллу массак уллу хуннериуккаасалла иккуссуингам таам аторсиннаангиннам таамарсу акуттутигисан иккуссуиниарум таават таамат санаққинниалераангама сунатамам ааллаққалаанингаанни илинниаққарли маранни унамай суна тоортарпа унамай канормай иккуттарпа канормай санасорпаат нойуппу атааварнерулиссас таамат оқартуааннарпу имма ja det så нааммаккаллааннер qoyana tusarnaas paquminalaaruaqisу eqqartukkak kisian pingaartikka kaamua tamakku paquminat eqqartortarneqarnissa ullutsin imaat sol nalungilap qanu tamakku atungaatinginers ulluinnarni imaat pornukuyu atoqatingiinner ik angayaarniutin atuiner tamakku kangusuutissaangil imaat eqqarsaatigalum tamakkuning sanaartortun siunertariva iluanaaruteqarnissarti taa iluanaaruteqarnerpaayusinnaapput uerittanarnerpaajunguni taamaam orinornum tungasu taakku tortaarilluni kaavittut taakku uerinarnerpaajub taan sort neriut iliuseq neriut angusaqarnerli marani iliuserisaq neriuteqarneq taavalu akissarsineq iluarusuuteqarna taakku pingasu imaat eqqortikkaagamik sort mobil aamila taan isingaap qummukart taamat qum ingerlarujort taakku ulorianassusa erseqqissaatingorusuppaagu assoria malungisinnaak aamua sort pingit mobilingittorsinnaangilang ullorm qanorluunni pinaversaartigingaluarak mobilera malungilissua mobilerersmallu isinginnaarujorlu taavut sort isinginnaaruluaraak angusaqangisaannarpua eqqaamangisaannarpak ullorm takusak mobilinni kisian sort isingin taan unitsissinnaangisaa isinginnaarusaanginnerlun taannarta sort unitsikkusuppaa assori taam massik eqqartorpaa sort eqqarsa neriulla imaat nassuutigisinnaawak immaqaluunni erseqqissaatigisinnaauk immaanni ua ajornartorsiutikka immaqaluunni aaqikkusutakka saqqummiussinnaangukkin taa arlaatigu aam uannu prasseqalissuuga taamat unitsinnissaana aam taanneriutigalu tamak eqqartorpak sort ila ilimagisinnaawa kisimiinnaga nalungilaa kisimiinnaga tamakkuning atuisuulluma sort pingittuusinnaajun naarnikuunga mobilinnun angusaqartangila tamakku pornoraluaraami sort tamakku asul inuunin kinguarsaataanginna kinguarsaatiinnangortarami taakkuttarta unitsikkusuppaa assoi taavula taamaallu sort atuakkan atuarne taavulu timersornik soonam ilasunatamarm killeqarami taa killissa taan atornaversaarlugu mobilinu taan erseqqissaatingusuppaa neriulla oqasikka paattuunganarpallaangit tamaan killippu qoyana tusarnaassi 8t-podcast mun takoqqissugu tulliani peace arlaatigu qoyana isinginnaarussuq qanerumiittartoq ilsaq ulsinimaaliorpu nunapput sumut inissikkusuppiuq nunapput suliarina qassappat
누나쁜 Donald Trump이 비시아에서 방우. 주문 이니신 레수아.
Hvis du regner.